ඒකේදී තමයි ආයෙත් අපිට තියෙන අන්තිම සම්ඩේ කරනවා නම් මේ 3 to 6 බෝල් මිස් කරන්න. ඒකෙන් ෂෙඩියුල් ප්ලෑන් එක තියා ගන්න. තව ඉන්නවද කරන්න බැරි ප්ලෑන්. Okay, is this all? Shall we start now? message එකක් දානවා ඔයා group එකේ ඉක්මනට එන්න කියලා. We are getting late please. If we can continue without a break, we can finish little early. That's why. No point of staying in the weekend. No. Yes. Routine don't have. We'll finish the stuff and online participants, can you all hear me properly? So we'll take your company files, right? Take your company files, and there are 2 documents uploaded in the LMS: my UV payroll cycles app and employee card. Okay. Keep those 2 documents as well. Right. So good afternoon all. We are going to start the last module of MyOB. And this is going to be run as a separate module from the main operation of your business, right? I hope you all can remember what is our business and how we did the transactions, because we had a long break after the sales transactions. So up to sales transactions, we were discussing about the main operation of the business, that is buying and selling or providing services, right? Initially we set up our company file, including tax codes and including accounts and including all the preferences. Then we set up the company file. Then we started the retail process, where we started with the purchasing. For purchasing, we wanted suppliers and items. For that, we created cards and we set up the process. Then we purchased. There we learned how to bill, how to make the payments for bills and how to manage those data. And then we wanted to sell these items. When we wanted to sell these items, we wanted customers. For that, we created customer cards, and then we set up the selling process. And then we sold the inventory items, and also we provided some services. With that, we earned revenue, and we collected that money and banked those money. So that is the main operation process of the business: buying, selling, and providing services. So our revenue generation part is done with that part. Today, we are going to learn about a special module, which is becoming a support service or supporting module to the main operation, that is the payroll, right? Payroll preparation is not coming under the main operation. Whether you prepare the payroll or not, the business is running, right? So this is becoming another added module. For many organizations, the payroll is run as a different system, right? If you take the basic setup, payroll preparation, because that has some complications. Payroll is not just a small document that you prepare. It contains a lot of information, because employee attendance, right? And employee salary scales and the salary increases and decreases, promotions, demotions, all these are mattering to the payroll, right? And there are some deductions you have to make in the payroll, because employee loan schemes and different deductions are coming into play, right? And some funds to which we contribute. For example, employees trust fund, employees provident fund, all these funds, maybe pension plans, all these contributions are coming into play, right? And also different employee related matters, the motivation, the performance evaluation, and all that are coming under the human resource function. Therefore, some organizations prefer to run that as a separate module, but in many ERP systems, that financial part related to the employees is also running under same broad ERP, right? Being an accounting software, MyOB is not an ERP. It's an accounting package. Being an accounting package, the payroll preparation is also facilitated under the software, because that is also coming as a major expense in your income statement, right? And also it has links to number of accounts, and it can facilitate even in a real company. If it's a small and medium sized company, for example, less than 100 employees, right? So then even the payroll preparation, payslip printing, all that is facilitated under this MyOB software package, right? So this is going to be really helpful for you to know how to prepare the payroll, because without payroll, your accounting process is incomplete. That is one of the major expenses, right? So for that, I have prepared a lecture slide or lecture note that contains the entire process, right? That is what named as payroll cycle step. Okay, my UB payroll cycle. So this document contains a step-by-step guideline on how to run the payroll cycle. So I want you to first open the company file we created or we continued with. So make sure you have 12 days remaining. That should be the right company file. If not, check whether you have the correct company file. Okay. All right. Now, by looking at these command centers, you can see there is a specific command center for payroll. Okay. In payroll, you can see time entering timesheet. Right? Entering timesheets, payroll categories, processing payroll, printing paychecks, preparation of electronic payments, all these pay liabilities and everything related to your salary payments is there under this module, right? Then there's a special thing we are doing before starting with the particular command center. We are setting up the background before we start with the command, with any command center, any major command center. What is that process? Easy setup assistant, right? Now by now you should be familiar with this word because you are going to do an examination based on this, right? Therefore, you should be familiar with all these practices. Easy setup assistant, right? So first we will go to the easy setup assistant, easy setup assistant. And under that, you can see for payroll, there is an easy setup assistant. Okay, right. Take 2 minutes and read the instructions or introduction step of the given result. What you are supposed to do in the payroll setting up process. Okay, ready? I think you can read it from the screen, not by your mobile phone. You don't need your mobile phone to read this. You can read this in the screen. Okay, really read this now because what you're doing here, what you're reading here and understanding what is available inside is important for you to understand the entire function, right? It's like basically a summary of the function, right? Okay, if you read that, you will understand what you're supposed to do in that function. Then click on the next button. Now, as I told you, the HR cycle or payroll cycle is running as a separate module, right? As a separate module. Therefore, you have to load the tax tables available in MyOB software. I mean, tax tables are there in a separate database, right? Payroll cycle is running as a separate module, running in a separate database. So we want to link these two databases, and we have to grab the tax tables to this module. Therefore, there is a button called load tax tables. I want you all to click that and see what is happening in the monitor. Something just happened, you couldn't see that, no? Because computers are, if your computer is really fast, did you see something happen? Yeah, tax tables are loaded. I mean, within a blink of an eye. I think some of you may have not noted because your computers are slow. If your computer is really speed, you can't see that. But tax tables are loaded to the module. Okay. So that's the only thing you have to do that. And the upper button, there's no point of clicking that. That is about the latest update of the software versions. You don't have to go through that, right? Loading tax tables is essential. That will create the link between the tax tables and the payroll module, right? Then you can click next. The current payroll year. This is a very important timeline to set up. Can you remember when you created the company file? You created the current financial year, right? What was the current financial year? What is the meaning of current financial year? Our financial year was, our financial period was 1st April 2023 to 31st March 2024. Then there, what is the current financial year we selected? Is it 23 or 24? 24. That means year in which the last month of the financial year is located, right? Now here also current payroll year is the year in which the last month of the payroll year is located, right? But can you just read the instructions or given description about the payroll year? There is a small restriction in the payroll year. This is where you have to clearly understand that, and you should not mix it up, right? Just because your financial year is 2024, you can't select 2024 here, right? The reason is time gaps are different. Let me explain that. Okay. Now, first, this is the financial year. Okay. Right. Now, April to March. What is the condition given in the payroll year? Which month to which month? July to June, right? July, 1st of July to 30th June. That is the gap. So we got the first payroll month or first month for which we have to prepare the payroll is the month of April, right? For month of April, we have to prepare the payroll, right? Because we start business on 1st of April, right? Now, for us to prepare this payroll month, if we select the payroll year as 2024, for example, right? If we select payroll year as 2024, the year will be starting from 1st July 2023 to 30th June 2024. That's how it's said, right? Am I correct? 1st July 2023 to 30th June 2024. So it will start somewhere here. Okay. 2023 to somewhere here. That's June 2024. Because your current, if you selected current payroll year as 2024. Make it 2024 suitable. Now my problem is I want to prepare the payroll for 2020, the month of April 2023. Right. Now can I prepare the payroll within this financial year, within this payroll year? You can't. If you want to prepare the payroll for month of April, you have to choose the previous payroll year. What is that payroll year? 30th June 2023. Right? And here, 1st July 2022. Right? Unless you select this payroll year, you can't prepare the payroll for this month. You understand? Therefore, when you are selecting the payroll here, you have to be careful. It's not same as the financial year. Okay? Current financial year is not the current payroll year. Now, as a tricky point, you can. What's more explains. Now, is this explanation clear? The first timeline, your financial year starting from 1st April to 31st March, right? So, your first month of operation is month of April 2023, right? So, for that month, you have to pay salaries. Okay? You have to pay salaries. So, you have to prepare the payroll for that month. Then, this is that month. Payroll year is starting from July, ending at June, right? Therefore, if you select the current payroll year as 2024, right, the meaning is your current payroll year is starting on 1st of July 2023 to 30th June 2024, right? So within that payroll year, you can't prepare payroll for April. April power amounts to much, right? Therefore, if you want to prepare the payroll for month of April, you have to take your first payroll year as 1st July 2022 to 30th June 2023. Right? Then your current payroll year will be 2023. Right? Now, this is for your understanding. Now, for the examination, you can't take time to think of that. Yeah. You can't draw the lights and color. It will be that time. Right? Usually payroll cycle is not coming into the examination space, right? Because there is not a separate module, it will take time to develop and all. In case if any one particular transaction comes, you can't be thinking of all these schedules and all that. Always remember, financial year, it's April to May, March, April to March. Financial year, always with the previous, right? That is the easy way to remember, but not the logic. Logic is here, right? The logic is examining, so remember that. So you understood that? Right. So, what is the financial payroll we are going to select? We are going to select 2023, right? 2023. 2022 select financial, even if it's financial year or payroll year, current year, current financial year is the year in which the last month of that year comes. Now, in that year, last month is 6th of June, but the June should come in 2023. Right? 2022 got the best. And here we are taking 2024 because the last month of your financial year is coming in 2024. Right? In payroll is the same story. Last month of the year is June. June should come in 2023. Then only you can prepare the payroll for month of April. Okay. So we'll have 2023 as the current financial or current payroll year. All right. Then we will go to the next step. Okay. Again, you are given an option to see whether the selected financial year is correct, accurate or not. Then, if you are sure about your current payroll year, right? If you are sure about your current payroll year, you can go to the next step, right? I'll have to lower my tone because it's disturbing to them, but they are doing an assignment or something, right? Therefore, you don't talk. I'll lower my tone and I'll try to not disturb them as well, but we have to give that support. Okay. Right. Now, here we have to set up how your general payroll, right, is prepared. Generally, what are the basic information to prepare the payroll, including your timeline, work weeks, and all that, right? The first information you are required to fill is full work week hours. That means per week, how many hours usually do your employees work, right? For this, it's automatically selected as 40. 40 comes as 8 into 5 days, 8 hours per day into 5 days, right? And let me refer to the guide I have given here, right? All these information are given here. You can see under the payroll information, right? Set up general payroll information. Under that, hours per week is 40, right? If you want to change this, right? If you want to change this, maybe some companies are working less hours, maybe more hours, whatever it is, depending on the regulations, you have to decide that. You can change it, right? It's not a fixed number. This number you can edit according to your preference, but in this case it's 40. So we'll keep it at as 40. Then withholding payer number, right? Withholding payer number is the taxpayer number. So here you can see I have given a number. You can just take that number. It is not difficult. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is just a number I have given. But in a real company, there will be a number for the withholding tax, right? You will be given, you will be assigned a number, then you have to type that number. And the next is the superannuation fund, right? The meaning of superannuation fund is what is the fund to which the organization and the employee combinedly contribute, right, for the security of or safety of the employee in the future, right? Whatever the fund that is maintained in whatever the country, the objective is that for the security or safety of the employee in the future. So you are creating a fund, right? In Sri Lankan context, what is that fund usually? For the employees, there's a fund created. What is that? Employees Provident Fund, that's EPF, Employees Provident Fund. So from the drop down, you have to select the fund, but here you don't have that in the list, right? Therefore, you have to click in this new button, and you can create the fund. Okay, type the name Employees Provident Fund. Employees Provident Fund, and press tab. Right. Employer membership number. I'll just give a number 0001. Okay. For every organization, an EPF number is given for the organization, not for the employee. For the organization, an EPF number is given by the central bank. So you will enter that number. Employees is after the letter S, only apostrophe comes. Right. It's not apostrophe S. Then it's sevakayage. Make it sevaka. For all employees. Then you can click OK to save this or add this to the table. Then you can click on the drop down arrow again. You can see that newly created Employees Provident Fund is appearing in your table. You can select that. Is it okay? You missed it? Here you can click this new button. Create that. Then again search the fund. Click OK. Yeah. Then find the fund. You can find it. Then click on the use fund button. Okay, use fund button. And then round net pay down to multiples of how? When your payroll is calculated, each employee's pay is calculated. Sometimes the decimal places will come like cents, right? When cents comes, how many cents you are going to pay the salary? Usually it is not nice to pay cents, right? Your salary is 80,225 and 30 cents. Not nice. Therefore, you usually round it round it up already, right? You can't round it down. Therefore, we'll keep it as 0. If you are involved in, because you all are learning the accounting discipline, right? Whenever you are not basically preparing the payroll most of the cases, you will be checking the payroll before making the payment, because that the payroll preparation part may be supported by the HR department. But for the accountant, it's your responsibility to make sure the right payroll amounts or payments are made, right? When you are checking, one point to remember, when you are paying these cents, you can't round down the payment, because the law doesn't allow you to keep at least 1 cent of the employee for the next month. You can't keep it, right? Therefore, always round up and pay that extra few cents. Then you are safe legally. Then in the next month, you can deduct it. You can make that adjustment. It doesn't mean every month you are paying additional cents. You have to round up and you can claim that in the next month. But you can't keep at least 1 cent of the employee after the 10th of next month. ඒක තමයි අර temporary employees ලට වුණත් 10 වෙනිදා වෙනකොට salary ගෙවල ඉවර කරන්නේ. You know, there are 2 timelines that salaries are paid usually, on 25th and 10th in many organizations. In a very different organization or international organization, you will be getting different time intervals, but usually it's 25th or 10th, right? If an employer is paying on 25th, that means he or she, an employer, is taking the risk of 5 days. Okay. So, yes. People need that money. Right? Use not the right. Right. Then, if you didn't enter that employer number at your feelings, right? Enter the location is the problem of the wheel or size of the wheel. You should have not entered that number, better to enter a new one, right? But I don't know, the same thing we have to do on use black and right, for the moment, just use it. Okay, for the moment, just add another fund. And here we were talking about this paying cents to employees, additional in addition to this. In addition to the technicality of this, you should know that reason. Okay, by 25th, some employees are paid for the entire month, right? So their cycle is every 25th to other 25th. So they are predicting the salary for the next few days and they are making the payment. And for some, in many cases, for temporary employees or contract-based employees, they are getting the salary on the 10th of the next month. The reason is the law doesn't allow you to pay any person's salary after the 10th day of the next month. They have to settle the salaries before the 10th of the next month. For example, you work for January, right? You need, let's say you work for full month, and before 10th of February, all your payments should be settled. That is why they can settle at any date, but they are keeping it till the 10th, and they are paying on the last day, right? Because businesses need cash, so they are keeping to the last date of the legally allowed time. Then only they are paying on 10. දහවින්දට පස්සේ ගෙවන්න බෑ. ඊයේ මාසෙ තරයි. 11 වෙනිදා ගෙවන්න බෑ. 10 අනිවාර්යෙන් ගෙවන්න අඩු. Right? Okay. Therefore, 0 cents. So you are rounding down to 0 cents. That is the idea anyway. You don't pay cents. Right. And then you will go to the next step. We will go to the next step. Here you have to select the linked accounts for payroll. Right? For payroll, what are the accounts you are going to use for cash payments, right? Even for cash payments, we have selected the Sampath Bank payroll account because in this case, we are going to maintain a separate account or completely separate account to make the payroll payments. Because from that account, there will be multiple checks moving, right? Let's say there are 100 employees, then 100 paychecks will be generated. In this case, we assume the salaries are paid through checks, right? Because for our double entry purpose. Therefore, we are taking all the payment, this salary related payments from the payroll account. Okay. Therefore, for cash payments also, it's the Sampath Bank payroll account. And for check payments also, we have to select the Sampath Bank payroll account, not the current account. Right? Payroll account. Because we are making sure all the payments related to payroll are paid from the separate account. Then for the electronic payments is the electronic clearing account. If there is any electronic payment made, so through the electronic clearing account, we are going to settle it. And account for employee expenses, other employee expense account. And account for wages paid for the main salary component, that is the wages and salaries. Okay, this is the wages and salaries expense coming in your income statement. And then for any deductions and expenses, payroll accruals payable, right? That means if you are deducting any amount from employee, then that is becoming a liability to the company. So that is payroll accruals or payable, right? Now, for example, when the EPF component from employee is deducted from the employee until that is deposited, that is a liability of the employer, right? Deduct කරගත්ත වෙලේ ඉඳලා ඒක liability එක immediately ඒක settle කරන්න ඕන. Okay. Right. Then you can click on the next button if the accounts are properly selected. Right. Okay. Now, this is the most important part of payroll cycle. The payroll categories, right? The easiest way to understand this is, have you seen the payslip that you receive at the end of every month? Those who are working should be receiving a payslip, right? So how your salary is prepared. You will have different components in that payslip. What are the things you have in the payslip? Overtime. First, you have the overtime. Basic salary. Then, first thing that comes to your mind is overtime. Yes, of course. That many overtime you do. Allowances. Basic salary, allowances. What else? Fixed salary. Okay. Basic salary is usually becoming the fixed salary. Maybe it can be different in different cases. EPF, okay. Any other? Deductions. Okay. Deductions can be what type of deductions? Okay. EPF. Don't. What? late deductions. Loan payments. If you have taken any loans, either from the office or through the bank, maybe it's deducted from the salary. Right? Any other? No pay leave. Yes, if you have taken leave, that will be deducted from for the leave. If that leave is affecting your payment, then that will also come into what else? Salary advances. If you have taken salary advance, then that will be deducted from the salary. Right. So you all have experience about the payslip, right? Now, in this step, okay. Now we'll focus on this, right? Now in this case, in this step, we are going to set up those categories. Right? What type of items are coming in your payslip? Here we are not looking at one payslip's point of view. Here we are looking at the entire company's point of view. So there can be different employees having different types of allowances, different types of payments, right? Therefore, we have to create the broader categories that is applicable for any employee, right? So if we look at the guidelines here, you can see in this company, Tab Cricket Club, you are having two types of employees. I want you all to read this particular paragraph. I want you all to read this particular paragraph. Now here, when you take, when you are joining an organization, right? You are getting and you are having an option to take some leave, right? How many leave do you have annually? 14. 14 annual and 7 casual, right? The meaning is for pre-planned reasons, you can take the annual leaves, right? You can pre-plan the sick leave also, but you are informing them urgently, right? 7 days for suddenly maybe sick leave, we call that, or casual leaves you can immediately inform and take, but annual leave you have to take the prior approval and take that usually, right? Usually 14 and 7, altogether 21, right? Now here also, okay, listen now. Okay, now we look at the technicality here. If you take that leave, right? If you take that leave, for that your salary cannot be deducted, right? You are entitled for that. If you do not take that leave, what happens usually? No pay? No, if you don't take those leaves, I mean, you are allowed, you are eligible, but you don't take those leaves. You are working. The 365 days you are working. At the end of the year, what happens? What can be done for the leave? Certain companies, certain organizations, it's their decision. They are given the freedom to choose between. They can either carry it forward for only one additional day, only one, that's like only one next year, or they can pay for those leave, not pay, right? So you didn't take your leave, for that you will be paid a small amount, I mean, equal to the amount of hours you are paid, you will be paid for that, right? So here we are talking about that type of arrangement, right? If you do not take any of these leaves, the leaves will be subject to the repayment. They will be paid, right? Here you can see there are two types of employees in Tab Cricket Club, right? And both these employees are eligible for the sick leave and holiday leave. That is the name given in this case, right? In this YOB context, that is how they refer. Sick leave is the casual leave that we are referring in Sri Lanka, right? Holiday leave is the annual leave that we consider. Okay. Here you can see there are casual employees and salaried employees. Casual employees are temporary employees who are taken on contract basis. When they are needed only, they come when they are not needed, their service is not taken, right? Salaried employees are the permanent employees who are continuously working. So they are also having the annual leave or the sick leave and the holiday leave, right? So both employees are having both types. The way the leaves are calculated or accumulated may be different for these employees, right? Therefore, there will be 4 categories: casual sick leave accrual. That means for casual employees, sick leave, how it's accumulated. Salary sick leave accrual means for salaried employees, how the sick leaves are accumulated, right? And casual holiday leave, that is for the casual employees, how their holiday leave or the annual leave according to our country is accumulated. And for salaried employees, how the holiday leave is accumulates, right? So there are 4 categories, 4 entitlement categories, right? So we have to prepare, we have to set up those 4 entitlement categories in the payroll cycle, right? Now look at we'll take one by one, then it's easier to understand. Look at the standard leave entitlement of a casual worker. For a casual worker, for sick leave, they are giving 10 days, not 7 days, like you are getting. They are given 10 days. Now that 7-day thing is the minimum policy, yeah? Minimum given number by the law, right? Labor. If your company is so good, they can give more leave as well. Not many companies are giving the 7 because otherwise they don't have time to work. Then this company is given 10 days. Okay. That 10 days for casual employees, they have to work and earn that 10 days. Because they are casual employees. They may come for a particular month and in the next month they don't have work somewhere. Right? If they are offered the 10 days leave on the first day, then they will work maybe only 1 month, then they take all this leave thereafter, right? Then it is not practical for an organization to run that way because they are paid leave. Therefore, for casual employees, they have to work and earn as a proportion, right? Therefore, this 10 days leave is given for them as a try to understand this calculation. 3.8462 of leave per every gross hour they work, right? For every hour they work, they are accumulating 3.8462% of the leave, which will be multiplied by 40 hours to convert it weekly, right? 40 hours weekly, because this is hourly, right? Now that is weekly. And again multiplied by 52 weeks to what? To make it annual, right? Per annum, you have 52 weeks. Therefore, multiplied again by 52 to make that annual. Then the answer will be 80 hours. 80 hours is equal to 10 days. Right? 8 divided by 8 10. Right? 8 divided by 8 is 10 days. So that is how they are getting the 10 days leave. They are not just offered the 10-day leave like they are coming for the first day. They have to earn. They have to work the entire year to earn that graduate. Right? Again, මාස දෙකක් විතර වැඩ කරාම දවස් දෙකක් විතර හම්බ වෙනවා. ඒ විදිහට යනවා. Okay. So we will see how we are going to create that particular leave entitlement in the MyOB, right? So here you can see at this payroll categories, there's a drop down. In that drop down, there are different clusters, right? Payroll, payslip will contain all these clusters. Out of these clusters, we can go to entitlements. Here we are talking about the leave entitlements of the employees, right? Select the entitlement. Here you are given 2 samples, right? We will first select the sick leave accrual. Available one, we will edit that, right? Rather than creating a new one, we will take the existing sick leave accrual. We will open that with the white zoom arrow. And we will convert this into the casual sick leave accrual. That is how we have to prepare that, right? Just we will follow the guide given here. Just rename this as casual, right? Casual sick leave accrual. Okay. That is the name of the entitlement. And then calculation basis. Then you have to select the calculation basis of this entitlement. It is equal to, already selected, equal to, what is the percentage? 3.8462, right? 3.8462% of gross hour, right? You have to change the percentage, 3.8462% of the gross hour. Okay, that is how the casual sick leave accruals are calculated. And then there is an option to print it on the pay advice. Do you want that to be printed, the balance leave on the pay advice? Pay advice කියන්නේ pay slip එක අපේ අතට හම්බේ. Pay slip එක, yes, that is a good option to select, because then every employee will know end of every month how many leave do they have in addition, right? So end of the year they can claim for that balance leave. Okay. So print on the pay advice. Here, carry remaining entitlements over to next year. That option is available, right? They can carry forward any balance of the leave to the next particular year. Okay, if they are not taking it. And then linked wage categories. There should be a category. This any payment should be linked. That is sick pay. Why are we linking? As I told you, why are we linking this sick leave to a pay category? The reason is, or even on a sick leave day, the employee should be paid, right? You can't remove that number, remove that working hours from their work hour calculation, because sick leave is a paid leave. Therefore, that payment will come through the sick leave, sick pay category. Okay. Now here we are setting up different avenues from which the salary will be calculated, accumulated. Therefore, keep it as the sick pay. Okay. So we have created the casual sick leave accrual. Click OK. When you click OK, you can see casual sick leave accrual is created, right? And then we will go for the same sick leave accrual for the salaried employees, right? Now that was for the casual employees. Now this is for the permanent or salaried employees. Salaried employees, they are also getting 10 days of sick leave, but that calculation basis is different, because they don't need a calculation. They are directly offered the 10 days, right? Because they are permanent employees. They are directly offered the 10 days, not a calculation. Okay. So we will, here we don't have another sick leave accrual. Therefore, we have to create a new. Okay. We have to create a new entitlement. At the bottom, you can see there are 3 buttons. Out of that, click on the new entitlement. New entitlement, right? Then the name of the entitlement is salary sick leave accrual. Salary sick leave accrual. Right? Then what is the calculation basis? It is not the percentage, it's the equal to, right? Equal to how many days, how many hours? 80 hours, right? It should be mentioned in hours. So 10 days is equal to 80 hours per what? Per year. Per year, they are given 80 hours. And 80 hours is equal to 10 days. All right. Then click on print on pay advice. You can carry the balance to the next year. And also linked wage category is against sick leave, right? Sick pay. You can select the linked wage category as sick pay. All right. So our organization is having a policy of 10 days sick leave. We have 2 types of employees, casual employees and salaried employees. For both these employees, we have created this entitlement separately, because the calculation basis is different, right? Then click OK. Okay. So sick leave accruals or sick leave entitlements are created. Then we will look at the holiday leave accrual, that is like the annual leave, right? So here you can see how many holiday leave they are getting per year, 20 days instead of 14 in this example, this particular case. The minimum is 14, but in this case, they are getting 20. These all numbers or round numbers are given for you to easily understand. 10, 20, because you should not be struggling with the calculation here. You should be understanding the process, right? So 20 days holiday leave is given. For the now you know the difference between casual and salaried employees. For casual employees, the leave is calculated as a percentage of the hours they work, right? So we will take the available holiday leave accrual. We'll open that and modify it. We'll take the holiday leave accrual and make it casual holiday leave accrual. So this is the holiday leave given for casual employees. You can see the calculation basis is equal to 7.6923, 7.6923. Okay, the percentage is correct. You don't have to change it, right? It's 20 days, 20 days. And then per pay period, per gross hour. That is correct. Then print on pay advice already selected, carry remaining entitlement to the next year, and then holiday pay. That is coming through the holiday pay category, right? So you are on holiday, you are paid, right? Then click OK. Then for the salaried employees, you have to create the same entitlement of 20 days or 160 hours as a new entitlement, right? Create a new entitlement. The name is salary holiday leave. Salary holiday leave accrual, and that is not a percentage calculation, that is equal to 160 hours per year. 160 hours per year, and that should be printed on the pay advice. And here holiday pay is the linked wage category. Okay, it's the same story, only the calculation basis is different. You are directly offered 160 hours of holiday leave for the year. Okay, then you can click OK. Right, so 4 entitlements are created. 2 entitlements for the casual employees, another 2 entitlements for the salaried employees. Okay. Okay. Here we have set up the leave for the employee. Without giving leaves, you can't prepare the payroll, right? Then next category we have to modify is the superannuation. Here from the top, from the drop down arrow, you can go to the superannuation category, right? Superannuation category. Select that and you can see there is a category called superannuation guarantee. Right? Now here we have to include the superannuation fund. What is the meaning of superannuation fund? Any fund to which the organization and the employees are contributing to take it in the future, right? So the names given here should be similar to here. The name is different, but there should be a fund that is guaranteed. The employee is guaranteed, as a guarantee, they are paid this particular percentage, right? So here you can see the superannuation guaranteed fund. We will convert that as our employees provident fund. Okay, take the superannuation guarantee fund, go into that fund with the white zoom arrow, right? Go into that fund as the with the white zoom arrow, and now we will customize this according to our requirements, right? What is the name of the fund that we are using? Employees Provident Fund, right? So change the name, superannuation name. Employees Provident Fund. And then we have to select accounts to which these double entries will be reported. Linked expense account. What is the linked expense account we have in our account list? EPF expense, as I remember. Try to search the EPF, right? EPF expense account is there. Okay, linked expense account. And then linked payable account. What is the meaning of this payable account? When the EPF is deducted from the employee, okay, so we are the organization now. When we deduct the EPF from the employee, we have a responsibility or we have a liability to settle that to the central bank or to the right relevant authority, right? Therefore, until then, we have to keep it in an account. That money we are keeping it in an account. So that is a liability, right? When we settle that, our cash will be credited, the liability account will be debited. Right? That is how the settlement works. Right? So that should be EPF payable account. Yeah, EPF payable account. Check whether you can find the EPF payable account. Okay, EPF payable account. So here we are creating the liability of the employer in the employee salary calculation, right? Then here you can see this is equal. Now the calculation basis you have to select, right? Contribution type is superannuation guarantee. Okay. Contribution type is from the organization. It is an expense. In addition to the employee's wage, this EPF is also becoming an expense to the organization. Additional EPF charge that they are paying. And then that should be printed on the pay advice, right? And then calculation basis equal to what is the percentage contributed by the organization? 12, right? In all cases, it's 12. Anyone who's getting a different percentage from the organization? Is there anyone who is getting a different percentage rather than 12? You know, right? Now, the rule is minimum is 12, right? Minimum is 12 and the contribution ratio is 3:2. That means if the organization is contributing 12%, employee should be contributing 8%. 3:2. 3:2 ratio, right? That is the minimum. It doesn't mean you can't pay extra. Some organizations are there, they are contributing 15%. Then the employee should contribute 10%. 3:2. Right? That ratio is maintained. Okay. So minimum is 12 and the contribution ratio should be maintained. Okay. That for your knowledge. Now here we will continue as 12%. Right? 12% of the gross wage. Right? That is also gross wage. Okay. So some organizations are not considering the gross wage for this payment. It is wrong, right? Even the OT should come into this. Sometimes the OT is paid different separately. Sometimes that is put under a different category. It is not used for the calculation. So many stuff. But usually, whatever the pay you get is subject to this thing. Overtime, double OT on Sundays, whatever the additional payments, that allowance, this allowance, everything should be comparable. But organizations are not doing that genuinely. Many are doing it, but some are not doing it also. Still they are surviving. I don't know. Right? Right. And then here you can see there is no limit because there are certain cases you can impose a limit. Only up to this point you are paying the or this EPF will be deducted, but here In our context, we don't have that limit. Whatever the salary you are getting for that, 12% will be paid. Okay. Then here, right. And also there is a calculation once eligible wage is 450. That is the default value given. We will make it 1, right? Even 1 rupee is paid, the EPF will have to be calculated, right? If there is a limit, you can impose that limit. But if there is no limit, you can convert that as 1. In guide, it's given as a default value, but I want you to convert it as 1. Even if 1 rupee is paid, you have to calculate the EPF, right? Okay. Then click OK button once you set up this superannuation fund. Okay. Right. So you can see here, employees provident fund is given. Superannuation guaranteed is the payment category. And then here we are going to again link the tax or income tax account of the employee, right? In our case, we call it payee, pay as you earn, right? Here, in this case, it's given as because it's the terminology that they are using. We have selected. We have used the same terminology. Pay as you gain. PAYG. That is pay as you gain. It's same as pay as you earn. That we are really paying, right? Therefore, select that taxes. Okay, from this category types, select taxes. All right. From the category types, now select taxes. There you will have pay as you gain withholding, right? Go into that. That is the pay as tax you are going to pay from your salary. Go into that, and linked payable account is given as payroll accrual payable here, right? So from the drop down, select pay as you gain withholdings payable, right? So for tax payables, there is a different account. So that should not be coming as a payroll liability. That should be coming as a tax liability separately. Okay. Therefore, select that pay as you gain withholding payable and click on use the account. That is the only change we did to the payee or pay as you gain. Terminology is bit different, but it's the payee that you are paying, right? Click OK. Right. That is the only change we are supposed to do for that. And then you can see here, just for your understanding, those are the essential things we modified here, because we need to have employee leave. Without leave, employees will not work. Then we wanted to link the taxes, right? And also we have to, it's a must, or legally it's compulsory to pay the superannuation or the employees provident fund, right? Therefore, we had to modify those 3 compulsory. But there are some options where if you select the wages, right? There are so many areas you can modify, like basic pay, any hourly payments, any let's say overtime, double overtime, sick pay, all these categories. You can add new categories. You can delete any existing unnecessary categories or modify any category, right? So many categories you can modify. So why we are modifying all these categories? When you are preparing the payslip of a particular employee, you have to select all this, right? You have to pick each and every, whether this employee is having a basic salary, whether he's having a overtime, or whether having sick leave, holiday leave, all that. We can combine all that and prepare the payslip of a particular employee, right? So that is what we did. You can just see there are so many categories you can modify. Entire modification can be done here, unless you are asked to. Even in the paper, usually we are not testing the HR cycle, right? Because that is this complex, right? You have to do a lot of work for this. Also, it will take at least 30 minutes. Therefore, we are not basically testing the HR cycle. Even if it comes, unless instructions are given to modify any of these, you don't do that. You can right? If it is given only, you I know that, but make sure there are a lot of things to modify, right? Then click on the next button, employee cards, right? employee cards preparation. I'm not going to create employee cards here because we have a specific or separate command center to create cards. What is the card center we have? Or what is the command center we have? Cards command, right? We have a separate command center to create cards that can create supplier cards, customer cards, personal cards, and employee cards, right? Therefore, even if you create cards here, that is okay, but this is not the easiest way or easy access way. Therefore, I'm skipping this, right? And then time sheets. If your organization is working on time sheet basis, right? Employees are paid on not continuous work, maybe on a time basis for 3 hours and get a break, maybe another 2 hours. That way, if they are using time sheets, you can tick this button, right? I use time sheets, but here we are not going to bill or we are not going to pay for time sheet basis. And then my week starts on Monday. Usually week starts on Monday in Sri Lanka, but in different countries, we can start in different days, right? There can be Friday and Saturday holidays, and work starts on Sunday. There can be some countries. So accordingly, they can customize. So in Sri Lankan context, we are starting the week on Monday, right? You can click the next button. Okay, congratulations. You have set up the payroll cycle. Right. Then you can close this easy setup assistant. Then close this as well. Right. Then our next task is to create the employee cards. Okay. We have to create the employee card. Do you need a break? Or shall we continue? We'll continue. Huh? Yes. You need a break. We'll take a very small break. 10 minutes break. You don't take much time. Don't go and hang around in the canteen and don't do that. Just go to the washroom or take your essential stuff and in exact sharp at now the time is 4:30. 4:30. Sharp at 4:40. Can you come 4:42? Sharp at 4:45. Let's see. By 4:45, please come. So we'll quickly finish this off and finish a little early. Right? That's nothing unnecessary time. You are getting late to go home also. Right? And I'll put the attendance. Mark your attendance and go. Mark your attendance.
Yeah.
Number one.
Okay, we start now. Can we start? Right. Now we are supposed to create the employee cards. Okay. Even in the easy setup assistant, we could create the employee cards, but we skip that step because there is a convenient way to create the card in MyOB. So we will go to the card files command center. Right. As you all know, we can create any card using the cards command center. Card files. Select the card list. Right. Select the cards list. There you can see number of cards that are coming under customer cards and supplier cards. Then go to the employees, right? Employees tab. Why did you miss the steps? Here in the cards command center, go to the cards command center and select the cards list. Okay. And there go to the card employee tab. Okay, here there are customer cards, supplier cards, and any other cards. So we'll go to the employee cards. And at the bottom, you can see a button for new cards, right? Click on that button. Now this is the window to create new employees, right? Employee cards. So it's just like the same format you used for supplier creation and customer creation. Okay. First card type is selected as employee, and then here you can see the document I have uploaded, including the employee cards. Open that document and take the first employee information. First thing you have to enter is the last name of the employee, right, or the surname. We enter here. This employee's Fernando. And enter his name, and when you press tab key, you can see all the other fields become visible, right? Then in front of the card type, you can see there is designation as individual or company, right? Can an employee be a company? In the employee cards, you have two options. Either that is an individual or a company. Can the employee be a company? Company can be how? Any example? Very good. Manpower agencies. Now, for example, we'll take Abans Cleaning, right? Let's say organization is giving a particular task for this area. We need one person to clean, right? So we are entering into the contract with the company, not with the employee. Today, one person may be cleaning. Next day, another person may be cleaning. We don't worry about that. We are worried about the service we are getting and the given contract, right? So sometimes this employee can be a company also. So in that case, Abans Cleaning Service is the name of the employee. It's a company. But here, Fernando is a person. So we are selecting it as an individual. Okay. So you have that option also. That's what I wanted to highlight. And the first name is Arosh. Here. You see? Arosh Fernando. Right. And then we can take his address, number 25, Hospital Road. Galle, country Sri Lanka. Right. Accordingly, you can enter the address and then the mobile numbers or land phone number and the mobile number. Phone number 1 is a land phone number, and phone line 2 is it's a hand phone number. Right? Those are the profile details of the employee. Okay. Profile details of the employee. Did you enter all the profile details? Right. After entering profile details, you can go to the card details. In this card details, okay, even though we are not entering, we are adding a photo and a note or a description about this employee. In a real company, it is very important to add a photo of the employee or image of the employee and to write a small note about the employee, right? Because for the organization in the system, it is important from the name. Some employees cannot be recognized. So it's an important feature to add an image and note, but in our practice, so here we don't have photos and all that. Therefore, we are skipping that. Just remember, in a real company, this is an important step, right? So we will not do anything in the card details tab. Then we will go to the payroll details tab. In the payroll details tab, you can see there are a number of information you have to enter, right? Here on the left hand side, you can see number of categories. They are not just information, they are categories. Under each category, you have a lot of information to enter. See? Okay. So we'll first start with the personal details. We'll first start with the personal details. Date of birth, you have to enter. Date of birth is 1992, May 12th, right? When you're entering the date of birth, make sure you enter according to the format of your system date. Right? Just like you entered in other invoices and all other formats, right? In this computer, month comes first, January, and then the date comes, and then the year, right? So in that format, I'm entering this date of birth. So 5 is the month, and then 19 is the date, and sorry, 12 is the date, no? 12 is the date. 12 is the date, and 1992 is the year, right? In that format, when you enter, you can see calculated age, 33 for today. It's automatically calculated. And the gender, male, because Arosh Fernando, gender is male. And start date of the employment is 1st April 2023. Again, April 1st, 2023, the first date of the employment. And then the termination date is empty. Can we tell the termination date of an employee when we recruit them? When we recruit an employee, can we know the termination date? අස්වන දවස කියන්න පුළුවන්. කවුරු හරි එතකොට. දැන් ඔයාලා වැඩ කරන තැන අස්වන දවස් දන්නවද? Most doesn't know, you may be knowing that. Now here, technically speaking, for certain employment categories, the termination date can be known. For example, if you are working on a contract basis for one exact year, the contract is signed, then on the starting date, you know when your job will end, right? The contract can be for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is. But in that case, that option is there. If you have that information, you can enter. Okay. But here we don't have that date. And then employment basis, it's individual, right? It is individual, not labor hire. Right? If it is labor hire, you can ignore the name of the employee and you can just calculate salaries based on hours. But here, this is an individual employee. And the employment category is permanent, right? We'll see what are the other options, permanent or temporary. There are 2 options, but this employee is permanent and employment status is full-time, right? And then employment classification is administration staff. Okay. Then here you have a drop-down arrow. Click on that and see whether the administration staff category is there. No, right? When any category is not there, you can just create a new category. Okay. Click on this new one, administration. Administration staff. Okay. Is it working? Computer is working. Not working. Then you can move on to another computer. It's your laptop. Right? Then you can click OK and select administration staff. All right. Then you can select administration staff category to the employment classification. Right? Then in this drop down, you can see that new category is added to the list. Fine. And then we can go to the wages view, right? Wages view. This explains how this person's wage is calculated. Okay. Here you can see basic pay is salary. Okay. You all are listening. Isn't that? Here you can see pay basis is salary. It's not hourly. Okay. And then the annual salary is 384,000. 384,000 is the annual salary, and pay frequency is monthly, right? There can be different pay frequencies, sometimes weekly, sometimes twice a month. So this is monthly. And then hours in the monthly pay period, we are selecting as 160. How did we calculate 160? 40 hours per week into 4 weeks, right? In a month, you have 4 weeks. Okay. 40 hours per week multiplied by 4. That is 160. Then we entered hours in monthly pay period 160. And then wages expense account is wages and salary account. Then you don't have to change anything. That is okay. And then from this table, right? From this table, you have to select what are the components coming in the payslip of this employee. What are the entitled categories? You can see from this area, right? Sorry, from this area, base salary is anyway selected and base salary is needed. And then holiday leave loading. From the list, select holiday leave loading. And in front of that, please tick. Okay. Click on that, so it will be ticked, selected. Holiday leave loading. And then holiday pay. Select that. And overtime 1.5, overtime 2. Right? And then sick pay. Sick pay is also relevant for this employee. All right. Now, what is the difference between overtime 1.5 times or 1.5 times and 2 times twice? There are 2 types of overtime categories. What is the meaning of it? Usually, if you are working additional hours on a normal day, on a weekday, you are getting 1.5 times of your hourly rate as the overtime, right? But if you are working on a holiday or a Sunday, public holiday, I mean, mercantile public holiday, then for the whole time you are working, you will be given double your basic pay per hour, right? So that is double OT and 1.5 times OT. Technically, even the OT should be included in your EPF calculation, but many organizations don't. Right? Then you can go to the superannuation. Yes. Fine. Right. So then you can go to the superannuation category, right? Wages category is okay. Then go to the superannuation category. There you have to select superannuation fund is selected, employees provident fund. Now you have to give the employee membership number, right? Now you all must be having an EPF number, right? In organization, your payroll, you are recognized with your employee number, EPF number, right? Then this employee is the first employee 0003. That is the number given here 0003. Sorry, 0001. 001. And then the relevant superannuation category is employees provident fund. You can see here. In front of that, select it. Select the fund. Okay. A tick mark should be there in front of the employees provident fund. Then only this employee is eligible for that particular fund. And then you can go to the entitlements view. Okay, entitlements view. This is about the leave entitlement of the employees. this employee is a permanent employee. Therefore, salary salaried employees entitlements are relevant for this employee. So you can see here, salary holiday leave accrual and salary sick leave accrual is relevant for this. So we will select salary holiday leave and salary sick leave accrual. So this employee is eligible for 10 days of sick leave, 20 days of holiday, right? As a salaried employee. Then you can go to the deductions and see there are no any deductions informed here, right? But if there are any deductions from this employee salaries, maybe advance payments, any purchases, sometimes employees purchase certain stuff from monthly salary that will be deducted partially, and any one-time deduction, maybe you take the small loan and from the next month's salary that will be deducted. So union fees, anything, right? Any welfare fees, whatever it is, you can add them here as deductions. And if this employee is eligible for any of these, you can tick in front of those deductions. But in this case, there is no any deduction mentioned, right? Therefore, we will not do anything. Then employee expenses, any employee related expenses, if they are paid by the company and deducted from the salary, you can tick in front of them also, right? Here it's not given. And then taxes, for this, for each employee, a tax file will have to be there. And usually what happens is organizations deduct the tax of the employee and they pay that to the tax authorities. Right? Therefore, tax file number is given for this employee. Right here, you can enter the tax file number. Here you have tax identification number TIN. You all must be having TIN, no? By now, TIN number. You all are supposed to have a TIN. Then tax table is tax free threshold. That is what we have selected previously. And then no any other tax rebates or extra taxes selected. And then you have to make sure there is a tick in front of pay as you gain withholding. Because you have to pay payee. Okay. So there should be a tick in front of that. Right. And then in the next category, you can see the standard pay. Right. Standard pay means that is an example pay slip of your salary. But because here there is no any holiday leave or anything given or any overtime given, anything. Therefore, it's only the basic salary coming in your pay slip. Then based on that, the other entitlements will be calculated. Right? Okay. Then you can go to the pay history to see any previously paid accumulated salaries to this particular employee. But here we don't have any balances, previous balances, because we are going to start the payment from this month. And also time billing. If there are any time billing rates, you can include that here. But we have ignored the time billing part. We are not paying based on time worked. Therefore, these are the information we have to include. And under the payment details tab, right? So that tab is over. Okay, payroll details tab. If you look at the payment details tab, payment method has to be selected. So that is selected as paycheck or check, right? So we will select it as check, right? Then you have contact log, the history of the payment and all that is there. After paying salaries, you can go and check the history at what. Okay. So that is about creating an employee card. You can click OK. Right. When creating employee card, compared to other cards, there are so many information or more information to be included. The reason is there is an internal party, right? Internal party, and for that employee, we have to prepare the salary or payroll. Therefore, it's little bit complex, but not difficult. All the information will have to be included. Right. With that experience, shall we create the other employees also? There are 3 employees, I guess. Shall we quickly finish the other 2 employees? In the last employee card, there's a small error in the address, employee address, right? It's Kadawatha and country is Australia. Take that as Sri Lanka. Okay.
I'm not saying anyone telling you what. Again, I'm not.
And you all create 3 employees? Still creating? Okay, right? So we have created 3 employees. And now, what is the next task for us? We have set up the entire payroll process. And now we have 3 employees. What is the next step? Pay them, right? Because you have, we assume in the month of April, we purchased and we sold. So we have revenue, right? That process didn't happen automatically. These are the employees who have done that. So for these employees, we have to pay salaries for the month of April, right? Now we are going to process the payroll. If you are writing down any notes, then your next step is processing the payroll, right? So for that, you have to go to the payroll command center. Okay, go to the payroll command center, and there is an option called process payroll. Right, click on that process payroll. Now this is the payroll processing wizard. Here you have the first option is process all employees paid or process individual employees. Do you want to specifically select an employee and pay the salary, or do you want to pay all your employees, right? So here I am selecting process all employees paid, right? And then select what is the pay frequency, that is monthly, right? Process all employees paid monthly. So you will have all the employees that are paid monthly in your list, right? And then you have to decide the payment date. We will assume at the end of the month we are making the payment, right? Then we will select. You can choose it from the calendar also, but we will change the date because we have to go back to 2023 if you are using the calendar. So we will take April 30th, 2023 is our payment date, right? Payment date is the last date of the month, 30th of April 2023. And then there is an option for selecting pay leave in advance, right? For any leave, if you have if the person has taken, are you paying it separately? So that can be paid in advance, but here we are not doing it. So you have to define the pay period for which month, for which pay period you are making the payment from the 1st April 2023 to 30th April 2023. That is the pay period. So April 1st, 2023 to April 30th, 2023. This is the pay period. Okay, this is the pay period. And then you are if this information is correct, you can click on the next button. Click on next. Then you can see the employees, right? A list of employees and the net pay that they are going to get. Okay. Now this is just the basic pay, and depending on the superannuation or the EPF deductions, this is the salary calculator as the net pay. If you want to make any adjustments for the overtime, yeah, right, or any advances taken, or any other adjustments you want to do to each employee, then you can see here from the white zoom arrow, you can go into that particular employee, right? You can go into that particular employee. So that is their payslip actually. Then, for example, let's think I went to the first employee. The name of the employee is what? The Fernando, right? Fernando. And let's say this employee had worked 20 hours of overtime, 1.5 times. So normal OT, 20 hours. So in front of that category, I am entering 20 hours. Right? 20 hours. Then automatically the overtime calculation will be done, and that will be added to his salary. Okay. Let's say there was any extra day holiday he worked, therefore 8 hours of double OT calculated. Right? One extra day or holiday he worked for 8 hours, therefore 8 hours in front of double OT, double overtime. Likewise, you can include or make adjustments to these numbers or salary calculated for each employee. Okay. Then I click OK. Now you can see his salary has changed. Okay. Likewise, you can go into any employee and make any changes. All right. You can make any changes. And then in case, okay, are you okay with that adjustments? In case you decide to hold the salary of an employee, now there can be instances. an employee has done a fraud or maybe misconduct of behavior, whatever it is, his salary for this month is held, right? So you can't pay for all three then. Let's say, for example, Sandun Silva's salary should be on hold, right? Then you just deselect that from the list. From this tick, you can remove it, right? Click on this tick, then that will be removed from the salary payment. For this month, he will not get the salary, right? But because we have only 3 employees, we will select him, right? We will pay for all 3, but that option is there. If you don't want to pay to any particular employee, you can deselect at this point, right? And also, if you want to preview the pay details, right? Preview the pay details. There is a button here. You can click on that to see how pay slips will appear. Here you can see this is the pay slip of each employee, right? This is what you are getting with your salary, and that includes all the information about how your salary is calculated, right? And if those adjustments are done, and if you are sure that this is the total net pay you are going to make or settle, you can click on the record button, right? The next step is recording the paychecks. You can click on this. Then it will give you a message, pop-up message. You are about to record 3 paychecks, right? There are 3 employees. You are going to record 3 paychecks. You can click on continue. Okay. Click on continue. Right. So the 3 paychecks are recorded, right? 3 salaries are recorded in our accounting package, right? All the accounting records are being recorded, right? To the right accounts, the debits and credits are recorded automatically. You don't have to worry about how to debit the wage expense, how to create the liability, how to record the EPF expense, how to create that liability. Everything is recorded at one click, right? That is the importance of using software. You don't have to worry about individual double entries. All that are recorded. Now, click OK. Then, if you want to take the printouts of these payslips, in some organizations they give that as a printout, a hard copy payslip, right? So you can click on this print paychecks, and also you can go to the next step and display display payroll advice, right? When you click on that display payroll advice, you can see here each employee's payslip is separated to pages. One page is one person's payslip. Here you can see. So that can be taken as a printout and given to the employee, right? Nowadays, most of the cases you are getting an online payslip, right? In most of the cases, in some organizations you may be getting a printed copy, but in many cases I have seen it's a soft copy. Right? You can even take this as a here the send to option is there. You can click on that send to and export this as a PDF. Right? You can export this as a PDF and you can send each payslip to each employee as a digital version also. Right? All right. Then you can click on the finish button. Finish. Now is our process complete now? Is our process complete? We paid the salaries. To pay the salaries, do we have enough money in that account? Now we have paid the salaries. We have recorded the salaries. Did we have money in our payroll account? I mean, paycheck. We had a current account for payroll. Did we have money in that? Can you just go to the accounts list and check? Go to the accounts list and see under the assets, you will have the accounts. Sampath Bank payroll account. Oh, it's a bank OD overdraft. You don't have money, right? Because we have maintained a separate account for payroll transactions. But to make the salary payments, we have to transfer that money from our main account. Okay, you should have a negative balance here. Then it's just a matter of transferring that money. How to transfer money, you know that. Accounts command center, transfer money, right? Accounts command center, transfer money, select the date. Date is April 30th, 2023. And from which account? From Sampath Bank current account to which account? To Sampath Bank payroll account. Okay. Now, what is the amount? At the bottom, you can see what is the balance, negative balance of the Sampath Bank payroll account. To settle an equal amount of this have to be transferred, right? An equal amount. Then 55,238.02. Right? If you accurately enter the amount, the balance after the transfer should be 0 in the Sampath Bank payroll account. Right? If you transferred the exact amount to the last dot or to the last cent, then your amount should be, account balance after the transaction should be 0. Right? And you can recap the transaction to see the accuracy of the double entry. And then you can record that. Okay. So you can record that transaction. Okay. Then you can listen. Now, when you go to the account list, your Sampath Bank payroll account should be 0, right? Because you received the exact amount and you paid the exact amount as salaries. Okay, then that account balance should be 0. Right. Now, that is about the payroll cycle, and that is the learning. I mean, the module learning in the software IOB. Right? And
Sir,
the
can
learning
you
is
explain
over.
it again?
Yes. Any question? Yeah.
Sir, can you explain it again? The transferring part?
Transferring part. Okay. Now, because you have paid the salaries using a different account, right? Here under the Sampath Bank payroll account. Now my account balance is 0 because I may have made the transfer. Don't shout. Don't shout. They can't hear this. Right? Sampath Bank payroll account. Then you have to transfer that exact amount from your main account or the Sampath Bank current account to the Sampath Bank payroll account, right? Because that account didn't have money. But since we prepared or processed the payroll, that account was credited. Yes, assuming that the money is paid from that account. Therefore, to transfer that money to that account or payroll account, you have to go to the accounts command center and transfer money function. Right? So set the date accordingly, April 30th, and then transfer money from Sampath Bank current account and transfer money to Sampath Bank payroll account. Right? Then here the amount should be the exact amount you see in Sampath Bank payroll account as a negative balance. But now I don't have that negative balance because I have already made the payment. Okay. If you did not make the transfer, you will have a negative balance here. Current balance, Sampath Bank payroll. Right? So you have to enter the exact amount, the same amount here as the amount. Then balance after the transfer in the Sampath Bank payroll account will have to be 0. Right? If it is accurate. Then you can click on the record button to make that transfer. Then the account will be settled off because you receive the same amount from the main account and then you paid the same amount as the payroll, right? Payroll liability of the month of April. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now, okay. So that is about the payroll. Then, and also if you take the learnings of MyOB, with that learning, you can basically handle the accounting function of a small and medium sized business. I don't say, I don't recommend this software for a very large firm where multiple complex operations are there, right? For an, listen. We are going to finish the class soon. So I don't recommend this for very complex or big organization, but for a small organization or medium organization, just to handle the accounting function because they are struggling to prepare their financial statements or accounts, right? They want a separate accountant to end of the year to prepare their account because they need to pay taxes. But they can manage with this, and even you can help small businesses to prepare their accounts using this software, but at a fee. Don't do it for free, right? Because you have paid for this degree and learned this. Don't do it for free, even for a small boutique. What is at least charge 5,000 to 10,000. Don't do that. Okay. Even I am not teaching this for free. Therefore, learn this, and also this. It's not only learning a software. You learn how the processes are working inside a software. This learning can be helpful for you to adapt to any software, and even if you want to adapt to an ERP system, this is the base. Right? The only difference is this is the accounting function is just running as a finance function in the ERP, and other functions are connected to that, right? But you will not be working with all the functions, right? If you are assigned to one particular department, accounting finance function, you will be working within the accounting finance function. So almost the same thing happening here, but only colors may be different. Some 3D type icons will be there. Attractive appearances will be there, but still the backend process is the same, right? Double entries will be recorded accurately. This will give you the accurate reports. Okay. Then with that, the learning is over. And there is one slight thing you have to learn. The next week on 17th, we are having a revision. With the revision, I will teach you how to generate the reports, financial statements, income statement, balance sheet, and the other statements, right? Other reports. So we have learned to export certain reports, as I remember, right? We exported some reports as PDFs. We will learn how to generate that income statement, balance sheet, and all that stuff next week. So with that, your learning is complete. Then week after, on 24th, you will have your case-based assignment. Okay. Be prepared, practice all these things, right? And come for that assessment. Then you will have your final examinations February, right? Okay, so that is the plan. Thank you very much for joining the lecture today. So we can find out the lecture. Don't, since your learning is over, don't throw this company file away, because next week we are going to generate the reports based on this company file, right? Take the company file with your emails or whatever your backup processes. Okay. Right. So that is it for today. Thank you. And also, I'll immediately add the Dropbox for the final continuous assignment submission. This is the file. After payroll cycle, you have to submit your company file. That file will be evaluated for your continuous assignment, and also your continuous submissions will be considered for marks. Right? Therefore, it's compulsory to submit this last submission. Still they have to submit this as the final submission. So previous submissions will also be downloaded and considered for marking, but this is the ultimate submission, okay, for the continuous assignment. Right. Thank you. I'll add the Dropbox. You can upload and go if you have done it properly.
So when is the deadline, sir?
I'll give you around 3 to 4 days, right? Okay, thank you, sir.
ඒකේ මම ඔයගලන්ට එක්සැම්පල් එකක් පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ නිසා OT එක ඇත්තරේ. දැන් එක්සෑම් එකේදී නම් එක්සැක්ට්ලි පේපර් එකේ තියෙනවනේ මේ කරන්න නම් එච්චර සයිකල් එකේ එන්නේ නැහැ පේපර් එකේ. Right?
The bank reconciliation part include the next week.
No, for the paper, for the examination, these parts will be tested, and this is according to the schedule. This learnings will be tested, right?
Okay, okay, sir.
එක්සෑම් එකේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. මේකේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. ඔය ෆන්ක්ෂන් එක කරාද කියන දේ බලන්න වෙන්නේ. එක්සෑම් එකේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. මොකද එක්සෑම් එකේදී වාගේ ෆයිනල් බැලන්ස් එක ඒක නිසා හරියට කරන්න අඩු වෙනවා.
මේක අයින්ටර්වල් දාන්න
ඔය දැන් ක්ලික් කරලා කොහොමද කරෙක්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන් ක්ලික් කරලා that is great.
Today we done the salaries no payroll. So will it automatically credited every month?
No, you have to process the payroll. You have to process the payroll because if any employee is resigned in the next month, so we have to make the adjustment. We have to remove this. You have to process the payroll manually. It's not recorded automatically.
So we are doing bank things, no transfer money.
Yeah.
Why we are doing like that?
Because
the software not linked to our actual bank account.
yeah, software you can't link to that because it should be related. Different story. It's a very comprehensive link between the bank and you. The thing is, you can generate the report from this and provide to the bank. Anyway, that connection should be done physically or through email.
So the bank things are done because we are physically maintaining the bank book note. For that we are doing inside the software.
Yeah, because you are here, what you are doing is the double entry keeping for your accounting purpose. With that, you can't do the bank transaction. Bank transaction, you have to do the banking app or something. Here you are just recording. You can't link the software to the bank.
Yeah.
That provision is not there. Even in a sophisticated ERP package, you can generate reports that are required by the bank, but your software cannot be directly linked to the bank.
But can you the bank reconciliation with the software? But not in Sri Lanka, it is allowed to connect with the bank.
Yeah.
QuickBooks and all that connected to the bank in other countries.
Yeah, that has to be done with the discussion with the bank first. The provisions will have separate modules will have to be. This is the basic concept, but before learn. Yeah.
Thank you.